Earth maybe is 6,000 years old. Dude. And don't worry, it is all my fault. And you can see the next day, Bill Nye in Science Live. Bill Nye went on here, the Earth would be 6,000 years old. Take control of it. And so I don't know how much you study or listen to this thing. It sounds like a few of you did. I love you, man. Oh, man. Thank you. But, you know, I would go on about, well, you know, if you had a way for trees to live underwater for a year, in salt water, live through it, okay, we'll take a meeting. If you had a way for kangaroos to get from Mount Ararat, which is snow-capped, I mean, it's like alpine heat, you gotta wear crampons and robe up and stuff like that. You got a way for kangaroos to get from there to Australia without anybody noticing. If you have a way to get pyramids, which are 10,000 years old, built in the last 6,000, like, how does that work? Like, if you had that, then, you know, we could discuss it. But I don't know if you remember this thing in this kind of detail. Somebody wrote in, I met the guy, the woman in Tracy Louis, wrote in this question: what, if anything, would ever change your mind? Look how deep your hands are. And you know, I went on about, well, if you had a way for starlight to get here from stars that are more than 6,000 light years away, if you had a way for starlight to get here in less than 6,000, some heretofore unimagined mechanism, you know, then we could talk about it. But if you recall, he said nothing. Nothing would change his mind. Okay, that's great. Cool. Can you imagine if this guy, well, how would this guy do on CSI Little Rock? Supposedly he and his members of his flock were on a jury. Suppose you were accused of something, and these guys are going to be on the jury. Oh, I made up my mind. Don't really need to have a trial. I'm good. Don't need evidence. Fine. Just imagine what a world that would be. It would not be good. And I like to think that over the last 1,000 years or so, people have gotten a little more civilized than that, a little more thoughtful. And by the way, our ancestors, like the cave people, Og and Agat, they were there. They depended on evidence. I guarantee you. That's how they managed to live through a couple of ice ages and take over the world. No, humans do this. Pretty once in a while.